I don't know, some guy called Diddy bought all the loop. Oh, hello, and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast, where it's the only podcast where internet doesn't work and it affects your credit score. So, as you can see tonight, Kevin James out here, they're busy looking for Scrooge McDuck's hidden treasure somewhere in the world. So I've searched high and low for the biggest brains of football technical knowledge, and they'll get back to me. So what I've had to do is scour all these drums. Obi-Wan said it best. You'll never find so much scum and villainy on this podcast. I'm only joking. We'll start with you, Daz. A debut, Daz. Dazzling Daz. Dazzling Daz. Welcome, mate, firstly. How are you?
All good. Thanks very much for having us on. It was obviously a late one, about an hour to go. So, yeah, I was scrambling home to get on. But, yeah, pleasure to be here. So, thanks for the invite on.
It's no problem. Your partner in crime is on his way, I think, on the Tron Highway.
Yeah, bit of internet problems, but yeah, he should be in.
Hopefully he'll drop in soon. We have the Queen of Pizza, the enemy of Domino's. She strikes fear into takeaway delivery men. It's Evie. How are we, Evie?
Ever so well. I've just had a little bit of pizza myself this evening. It's not been Domino's though, so still falling out with them. So.
Yeah.
Other than that, all good.
If you punch one, the rest of them will fall. Thank you. I'm here for the next hour. That's what I do best. Does roll eyes and shake heads, and it isn't. It's only my favourite Jay, the only Jay, the original Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy before he got sacked for being too sexy. It's Mr. Jay from Ought to Know Better. How are we, Jay?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good for a change, you know. I'm, just...
For a change.
got myself in prowess last night, and, you know, life's good. I'm very, very happy.
Good.
A couple of wins in a week will do that for you.
It's a life-changing, isn't it? Isn't it great how 6 points can just totally turn your life around?
It's amazing. Yeah. It
can
lose your license, or it can make you happy because Leeds have done well.
Exactly. It's like you're looking at beans and toast, and you go, hold on, it's a cheeky sausage there. You've only got beans and sausage on toast. It's one of them feelings. It's one of them feelings. Right, you go. We do, before we get started, we do have a sponsor. We all like Jay, me and you. We've got the latest gaming sensation that came out today.
We have.
Well, did you know that there is another game that has dropped today?
I didn't.
And it is Call of Duty Black Ops, where the only way to win the game is to throw it into your own net. So that is available on all consoles and PC, etc. So if you are interested, give me a DM and I'll point you in the right direction. So thank you very much. Right, so let's get into, we'll talk about the Sheffield United game. Dazzling Daz, I would like your opinions. What's first of all, your overall thoughts? Excuse me, not on that burp, but on the game.
Yeah, good game. Myself and Dylan actually went to it. There's not many. We only kind of get to about 5 or 6 during the season, but Sheffield United one was the one that we kind of pinpointed from the start that we wanted to go to it, especially a Friday night, so we kind of make it a long weekend in Leeds. And they came up trumps. We had a bit of a nightmare coming out of Dublin. First of all, our flight was delayed 2.5 hours. It was meant to be 3:45. So it gave us loads of time to kind of get into Leeds and do a few bits, but it was late. And we ended up just getting to Ellen Road at 5 to 8. So we were very, very lucky. But overall, the game itself, I thought to a man we were class. It was a bit fearful going into it because obviously it was the first game with Rotwell and Tanaka, how it was going to kind of shape up. It was a bit fearful with the likes of Hamer, Callum O'Hare, how we were going to kind of nullify them, especially from the Sunderland game. I thought we gave Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg a lot of opportunities from outside the box, weren't really picking them up, and I think that was because Ampadu and Gruev was missing in there, so I was a little bit fearful of that. But Rotwell and Tanaka had the game of their lives. They really, really stepped it up, and overall it was a great performance to a man. It was just unbelievable, and then Joe's to finish off. Kind of got a little bit nervy, probably about 5 minutes to go when we still only had the 1-0 lead, and kind of the Leeds thoughts creep in. Like, you just had a feeling, are we going to concede a late one? Something stupid, penalty, another Melier one. So when Joseph scored, the relief just absolutely came through. But class. And then obviously the whole stadium singing the conga. I don't know if I'm allowed to sing it, but about Chris Weiler was class. Yeah, so really, really good match with myself and Dylan, and being in the stadium was a good buzz. Yeah.
Exactly, mate. That was a really astute and fast approximation, and I really like that. No, I like it.
In and out.
Evie, take note. I'm only joking. I just like to pick on Evie. But we talk about Hamface. Here he is.
There he is.
It's not a podcast without a silly meme, is it? Evie, what's your thoughts on Sheffield? Were you nervy coming into the game? I was.
Yeah, I was very nervous. More because of the fact of the emotional side of things. They had a lot to play for in terms of obviously George Baldock and the content creator, obviously both passing away within a couple of weeks. Their first game back after the international duty. We saw how Greece beat England for the same person. That emotion side of things can sometimes outbeat the talent if they actually give a good solid performance. And I was expecting a really tough, tight game. And now obviously the scoreline once the game's over makes it look a lot easier, but actually 1-0 until the 90th minute is and like Daz said, you were expecting Leeds to just kind of flip it off kind of thing right at the last second. I was pacing up and down my living room. I couldn't stay still because every thing that we did minutely wrong, I was shouting at the screen because I was like, you don't understand what you're doing to my health right now kind of thing. I just need you to win and things. So yeah, I was really tense going in and I expected a much tougher challenge. And they failed really to show up, if I'm being honest, other than that first kind of 10 minutes. And then maybe after he made that treble substitution, they kind of had a little bit of momentum shift. But other than that, they offered nothing. I was a bit disappointed, if I'm being honest. I kind of wanted to beat them when they were at their best rather than they just kind of rolled over and let us tickle their tummies.
Now that's a sight. Rolling Chris Wilder over and tickling his tummy.
Good God.
Do you reckon he kicks his leg when you tickle him under his armpit?
I bet he does.
I just have to say that's very strange. I'm sorry for being late. But coming in and having the first thing that's being discussed is Chris Wilder, and it's like, you know what I mean? This is my type of podcast now. We're getting somewhere new.
Welcome to the chaos universe. We are the chaos cogs that drive this chaos machine.
Yeah, I know, I love it.
As I introduced Dazzling Daz, this is Dillo, his counterpart, his confidant, his other half, his extra super confidant, if you will. Welcome, Dillo, for your debut on this podcast. You've missed a lot of silly things already.
The hamster was slowing the internet down, so I had to just go give him a bit of water just to keep him going,
As you can tell on this podcast, everyone's internet is just absolutely on the piss tonight.
Everyone's acting the mic.
But yeah, welcome, Dylan. We'll get to you in a second, mate.
Yeah.
Jay, what was your thoughts on the Sheffield United game?
Oh, just absolutely loved it from start to finish, pretty much. It was one of those performances where, especially when you're there, it were pretty magic. It was pretty complete, wasn't it? There wasn't anybody really that had a bad game. There wasn't anybody that did anything wrong, particularly. It's been done to death, but Tanaka and Joe Rottweiler, as I'm going to call him after that performance.
Nice.
Nice.
They were great.
I'm
That's
nicking
robbed.
That. Don't you mean?
That's definitely getting robbed.
Don't you mean Joe Rottweiler?
Exactly.
I'm clipping that and I'm putting
that. It was great. It was absolutely great, and it showed that we do have a strong squad this year. If we can keep these guys fit and firing on all cylinders, there's no reason why the injuries we've got after derail us, like we all probably feared that they would when they happened. I mean, the list's mounting now after the news about Ramazani, but that's not as long, thankfully, and we have just got DJ back. But I mean, there was nothing in that game that sort of, that stood out to me as bad or bothered me. It were great, and it was just one of those where it were kind of like a party atmosphere by the end. It were great to get one over on them, because I were worried before that game. I thought this is an actual good team we're coming up against now, and we just made them look absolutely shocking. They looked bang average, Like Watford caused us far more problems, and
Yes.
that's the Leeds United demon in it. We can go out and make a good team look shit, and then make a shit team look exceptional. But yeah, we stuck it to Wilder, which were nice. That were always, that's an added bonus. I was nervous as hell when the songs started. When it were about 70 minutes, and I thought, oh God, no, it's too early. It's too early for this. We can't start gloating yet. But, it all came together. It all worked out. They had sort of 5 minutes where they looked like they might do something, and that were about it. We were just, we looked absolutely comfortable, totally cruising, and we showed how good we can be, for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I mean, there was I thought it were a good game, but there's a lot of people that, at both ends of the spectrum, if you will. And just right quickly, Sean, this is what she does, mate. She comes on podcasts and just starts taking over, showing dominance. It's just how she is. You've got to accept it, mate. Dilo, what's your thoughts on the Sheffield game, mate?
From what I remember of it, well, I'm only messing. No, so we, as Darren said, we got late into Leeds. Good lad Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds. He met us. We had to drop his bags off to a friend of his, and then we walked down to Ellen Road. So we were kind of touch and go for a while, but we get in. It was kind of a nerve, for me anyway, a nerve-wracking game because I didn't know what way it was going to go. First half, it was kind of not a whole lot going on. It was kind of different tap, but they didn't create anything. We kind of had the upper hand in the first half. So nothing really to add on that. Going into the second half, me and Darren went down for a point at half time, and nothing new there. But anyway, he says to me, "What do you think is going to happen now in the second half? Can you predict anything, or just give us some sort of insight of what way the scoreline is going to be?" But I kind of had a feeling Leeds were going to win, but at the same time, a little doubt in the back of your head because we were home, because of Sheffield United, it's a derby, and then obviously the sad pass in the George Bullock. It was kind of that doubt in the back of your mind. I was going to say Diesel probably wanted more than we will, but we went out in the second half and just pulverised them and got the win. Going back what Jay said there, when the songs started coming out, I was the same as well, to say, "Oh lads, now relax, it's a bit too early to be singing a song."
Absolutely. There's nothing worse, is there, than gloating and then getting it rammed down your throat.
Now, come here, I was joining in as well, I have to say.
You have to at that point.
But no, look, it was a great overall performance from the team. I was more worried at the fact for Darren, because I don't know if you know, the first game of the season, it's at Portsmouth, when Aronson missed that kind of the railings beside us. Darren connected with that better than Aronson connected with the football. And the whole railings was rattling. So
He loves telling the story.
I was only waiting for a matter of time. If Sheffield United had scored or anything like that, I was just getting ready to move out of the way. I didn't want to be the one kicked.
You make me sound like a raving lunatic.
I wouldn't mind the woman, the steward that was beside us, when Darren connected with it. Like, I was expecting her to kind of get mad. She kind of looked at him as if to say, "I bet that was sore." I'd say that was sore.
It was black and blue for about 2 weeks.
So, yeah, but look, enough of the jokes. It was a great game. Certain players were on top of it, some weren't. I thought Bogle done very well, especially against an old club. I think he was great offensively and defensively. Nanto, again, he just seems to be, it's like a confidence thing lately. He's hunting down goals, but he's not getting them, but he is producing, passing, assists, or he's just getting forward. And then the main man, for me, I'm in love with Pirro at the minute, as you cannot see. So, I did, but look.
You should see Danny's collection. They're all naked for some reason.
Pirro won't be long until that shirt is ripped off.
You can say what you want. You can say what you want, Jay, but the good kisses. I mean the taste. It's a bit stiff, but let's not go into that because there's a legal dispute going on at the minute. Evie, Dilo mentioned Bogle there. I thought Bogle was really good, because he must have been up for it as well. He was getting booed every time he touched the ball.
It's one of those things that either completely makes you kind of fire up, and kind of you use that to kind of as fuel to be better than your old club, or you kind of fall under the pressure of, I need to impress because I want to impress my old club. Whereas he fell into the former. He was fantastic, and he deserved like an assist, if I'm being honest, that game. Like, he really did. We missed some really good opportunities to convert his crosses and stuff like that. And yeah, he was brilliantly defensively, which is obviously something we've all been quite critical of him so far this season. Is the fact that he can often get, by obviously pushing so far up the pitch, he can often get caught out on the way back. But yeah, there really wasn't a poor performance, if I'm being honest. Aronson still was snatching at some chances, but everybody played well. Again, a silly yellow card for Firpo, which obviously then meant that his silly yellow card on Tuesday means we no longer have him for Saturday's game. But yeah, it was just a really good, solid, fun team performance. They were all playing for one another. It just, I don't know, it felt like a Yorkshire derby, but only one side were biting, and it certainly wasn't the Blades.
You could say they were, but you took it right out of me, man.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
This is what he does, lads. He just comes on here and just does what I'm
That's
sure
why I don't
Evie
get
and Jay
invited back.
just plan this. They just plan this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a conspiracy.
So, yeah,
I sit there with his
talk about
tinfoil hats on.
Well, where's Carl? Carl, if you're watching this,
You leave him alone.
Baby pigeons do exist.
Do you know what I wanted to say, Danny? Just quickly on the game. For anyone that's like worried that we don't have a strong enough squad, just imagine that game, but with Shaq playing right back for us and Bogle playing right back for them.
Yeah.
Instead, it's vice versa.
Exactly.
We took Bogle.
You know where we're going here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the old Shaq-a-Rooney fiasco deal thing, whatever. Doesn't matter. He doesn't play for us anymore. Daz, any standouts for you before we move on from the Sheffield game?
It's probably a toss-up between Rotwell and Tanaka. To be honest, I thought Rotwell probably just about shaded it in the Sheffield United game. But the two of them are brilliant. That was just about with Rotwell. He's just given us that little bit more as well, especially from set pieces. Our corners look a lot better from corners. It was when we were taking corners previous, it was kind of swapping between Aronson or James and Ramazani going to take it. It was kind of swap Evan and Flown who was taken, but it seems like he's now our set piece taker. And then I didn't know he kind of had that side of the game, that kind of the dirty work side of the game, and we call him Joe Rottweiler. He dug in as well. He done the dirty side of the game as well. So yeah, I thought he was man of the match against Sheffield United. And Tanaka a very close second. Then.
Yeah. The thing is with Mr. Rottweiler, that's his name now. We should only refer to him as Mr. Rottweiler. Do you know his fun fact? Do you know he's got a Marvel appearance? Do you know that?
No.
He's genuinely. Yeah, look, here he is as Mysterio in Batman.
Oh my god! And I've seen that film 1,000 times. Never noticed it.
No, honestly, that's because he wasn't pinging balls left, right, and centre. We were just using his powers. That's why he's so good at crossing. You know what I mean? There we go. Let's have a quick look at the momentum graph. This was the momentum graph. As you can see, we were pretty dominant. And then it's also funny when you've got Kiefer Moore tackling himself and passing it to Nonto.
Oh god, yeah. That should have been a goal, though. That should have
scored from that.
Should have. Yeah. That for me is where Nonto does let himself down a little bit. I think he's a little bit more greedy this season. Would you agree, Jay?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But he's been kind of backing it up for the most part. He's getting a lot of shots away. He's getting a lot of balls into the box. There has been times when he could have played it instead of going for it. But overall, I can't be upset with his performances. Like, I feel like you're seeing him be a bit more greedy, but that's coinciding with him looking a more confident player. And if that's how we get the best out of him, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. Right, yeah, so Leeds did run out 2-0 winners with Mateo Joseph converting. I felt like I'm on BBC football or something, don't I? That sounded really professional there, didn't it? Yeah.
Did actually.
We ran out.
It did, yeah.
See, it did actually. Yeah, you're right.
Really
Yeah,
did.
it's not a
Yeah,
shock.
it did.
It's not.
That's a first for on here.
Here she is, claws out, ready to go. Yeah, you just keep bullying Dominoes, you. Right, where am I? Right, Watford. That's it. Yeah. So let's move on to Watford. We played Watford during the week, and we won 2-1, which is a totally different game, wasn't it, Dilo? They were more physical.
Definitely. Sorry, I was stuck on the subject of dominoes there for a second. So yeah.
No, it's Evie. She won't let it go.
So yeah, no, look, same sort of thing. Like I'm having this kind of rut with Darren and Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds at the minute. Oh, the run of games that are coming up, I'm kind of being optimistic at the sense everyone's kind of saying win the whole way through. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're probably going to lose one in there, lads, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, I know Watford wasn't the one, and I never thought it was. But it was a grind of a game. Like, they grinded out a win. And this is going to happen throughout the season. You know, it's a long season. You're not going to win them pretty all the time. We're going to be on the edge of the seat. I was on the edge of the seat anyway, I can tell you that. And then when the first 7 minutes they got 2 goals, Leeds never do that. Ever. So when the first one went in, obviously it was jumping like a madman. When the second one went in, the dog, the missus, the wall, everything nearly went in the house at one stage in the second. But yeah, it was, we kind of died down then, kind of towards probably the first 15, 20 minutes into the second half. But they didn't really create anything apart from that goal. But that was Strike's error. But he didn't do anything wrong apart from that. He still played well. He still played his normal kind of big self. You know, Nanto, it was a bit of greed, I thought, on Nanto and Solomon, if I'm being honest with you. But when Ramazani went down, it kind of definitely slowed the game down. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. I was waiting for this. You know.
I'll defend you. Smarty, leave him alone. He's busy been following fire. He's been doing his tricks. He's full of flaming sword.
I need more than a strepsil. Let me put it that way.
Smarty can't.
Yeah. So
sort of shaman, like, to get the demon from your throat. Like,
yeah. Come here. The missus tries to do that all the time. It doesn't work. But it's
Was that demon or
demon? Yeah.
Alright, I thought you said someone else.
When Ramazani went down, it kind of slowed the game down an awful lot. But Solomon's getting a load of stick. People are forgetting the fact he has been injury prone for the last how many seasons. He made an error at Burnley. You do something like that, Ellen Road, it will become very hostile. You know, we have to give him a chance. He's a completely different player. He'll prove us all wrong, definitely. But look, 2-1. We got the 3 points. We grinded out a win onto Bristol. And I'll get strepsils on the way.
don't worry about it, mate. Ignore Smite. He's another one of these.
I love it.
Better lads.
He can give me the stick. I love it.
In fact, I know he's watching right now, so there he is. There she is. There you go. That's his kryptonite, and I can hear him boarding the outrage bus. There he is. I'll speak to you later, Smarty. Yeah. So, Evie, talk to us about the Watford game. Oh, but before the highlight of my night, because you know what I'm like for dad jokes. I tweeted saying absolutely no one, and then underneath put that one sheep in a field.
That's class. I love that. It was class.
Aaron, that was obviously the photo you were telling me.
That's the one I was telling you about. Yeah, quality.
Before we, she just does what she wants. Before we go on, I never said it was a good podcast, guys. I just said it was our podcast. So, go on, Evie.
It was a interesting game in terms of, obviously, the first goal, it was like a double delayed celebration because you're like, oh, it got saved. Oh my God, he's given it. Everybody, was going crazy. And then obviously scoring again a couple of minutes later. We, turned to my husband and I was like, oh my God, we're finally going to demolish somebody. It's here and we're actually here at Ellen Road and we're going to see it. And then what followed was probably 70 minutes of the tensest football that I've watched for like a long time. We just kind of, I don't know, the rhythm got interrupted when Ramazani kind of went down. How the Watford player didn't even get a yellow card for that, I've no idea.
Yeah.
Because, he got the ball, and I'm presuming that that's probably the only reason why. But the follow through was unacceptable, really. Like, that's just, the ball was going out for a throw in. Like, what was the point of that? There was nobody up there with him to support him to even create a counter attack. So I have no idea why he went in on him like that. But they physically kind of dominated for large parts of the second half of the first half and then the first half of the second half.
It's a
and
game of four halves.
It really is. And then the goal, in the 47th minute, it just, that then meant that the entire of the second half was really tense. They didn't create an awful lot, but they did keep the pressure on. We did play a lot of that game in our own half, which I think is something that we haven't really been used to this season. And just the time wasting. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was absolutely farcical. I've never known a team be playing against, obviously Watford are a good championship team and they're usually, I know the last couple of seasons they haven't really been at the races, but they should really be in and around the playoffs because they are most season. So they're a direct kind of competition, and the fact that they were time wasting when they were losing, I could not, especially when the limited fans that they did bring, like, you've traveled over 200 miles to come and see your players laid down on the pitch for most of the bloody game. Like, I would be peed off if that was, if we were watching Leeds do that and, you'd traveled all the way from, all those games last season where we were playing at Plymouth. I would be fuming if we'd traveled all that way, an 8-hour journey to watch our players, roll around on the pitch kind of thing. So yeah, it was a very touchy game, but yeah, we got the job done. And last season we probably crumble. And I agree with Daz in the fact that I think Rothwell was my man of the match against Sheffield, but Tanaka was my man of the match, obviously, against Watford.
Yeah, we'll talk about Tanaka because he's an absolute Leeds samurai. I'm starting that movement, #Leeds samurai. I put a few memes out there. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just put it out now because, why not? So much honor. Honestly, we'll talk about him after, but I do want to get everyone else's opinion on the game. Dazzling Dazzo, see what I did there. I went with an O this time. What's your opinion on the Watford game? Obviously, bearing in mind what they've just said, it's been more physical. The time wasting was just baffling. There's some yellow cards. 12 minutes in, Ramazani gets took out, and now he's out for 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, probably roller coaster of emotions, like what Evie said, that you're 2-0 up and you just think we're going to be all over. And my score prediction on our channel was 4-0. I really did think it was time that Leeds were going to come out. We were due to kind of beat someone, then we're 2-0 up in 7 minutes. You're kind of rubbing your hands, and it was like, this could have been 5 or 6. And I wasn't sure whether it was after the second goal, because obviously Fark doesn't seem to be one of them managers that kind of opens the gates and lets us go. It's kind of when we kind of get a comfortable lead, he likes to just sit in and keep the ball and be possession based. But then it kind of coincided with Ramazani going off injured as well. And after that, then the momentum just completely swung in their favour for the rest of the first half. Probably about the 20th minute, they looked like they were on the front foot. We just died off. There was no pressure. Our press from the front was just non-existent. Aronson was trying to do his own work and trying to help Pirro as well. So we completely died off after that. I think they only had one shot in the first half, and it was fairly comfortable save from Meslier. They didn't really create much. And then the second half, they came out on the blocks, all guns blazing. They really, really put the foot down, and they obviously got the goal. And after that, then you're thinking, especially with getting the goal so early in the second half, you're kind of thinking, geez, they could easily turn this around. They were just on it, and after getting the goal, their tails went up even more. And we were just completely out of it. We just couldn't get the grips with the game whatsoever. Tanaka tried. He seemed to be everywhere. He's back helping out, trying to get it forward. Rothwell's performance dipped a little bit from Sheffield United, which, look, you can't be at that level every week, but Rottweiler.
Oh, right, sorry. I didn't know you said that.
Mr. Rottweiler. Yeah, but Tanaka was unbelievable. I think without him being in there, we probably would have lost that game, because he was just absolutely everywhere. One when he was back winning the ball, and then he was spraying the pass out wide. He was absolutely everywhere. And then it didn't really kind of turn back in our favour until we brought Joseph and James on. The press was there then a little bit more, and it kind of started swinging in our favour. We couldn't quite get the third goal to finish off Joseph. He probably should have scored to put the game to bed. But yeah, look, it's the championship, and especially them midweek games. It is still just after the international break. A lot of them lads have played a lot of football over the last 10 days. So yeah, it's just one of them where you don't read too much into the performance. You just take the 3 points, you move on to the next one, and then hopefully Bristol City then tomorrow is a better performance. But yeah, you're just going to get games like that in the championship. For me, you have to take the positives, because we didn't really, I don't even think we were in second gear. I think we were just in fourth for most of the game, and if we're still winning the game in fourth gear, there's plenty more to come for this team.
And that's the positive thing as well. With Ramazani going off at 12 minutes, we can just replace him with Solomon. Yeah,
someone like
Solomon. Yeah, it didn't look match fit to me. I don't think he is. I think he's still being nursed minutes. I think Farke did admit that he played him longer than he wanted to. That's why he got subbed again. You know, he's coming back. I think out of the two, I think Dan James is more of a priority for me, because you saw, didn't we, Jay, when he came on, first of all, that outside of the foot pass, because I'm old. I don't want to call it. Was it not a Rabona? Not a Rabona. What's it called? A Favela or whatever. Whatever the kids are saying these days.
I heard that. I think on the square ball.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
I've completely forgotten what the word was, mate. So you've no point asking me. We don't do technical stuff on our pod. That's why it's crap.
Just call it a pass.
He kicked it really good.
They were a fancy pass. But no, he was great. He looked industrious, and they were on it, and they were causing them problems from the off. So the fact Ramazani is injured now is a bit of a blow. But if we can put Dan James back into the team soon from the start, then I think we're covered. Trivella. I thought that was a speed camera.
I thought it was Spanish for pie.
I think we're covered though. If DJ can get fit and he can get through a full 90 minutes, I think that's a while off yet. But if we can start starting him in games, I don't think we're gonna miss Ramazani as much as we might. But somebody in the comments said he was taken out, and I'd say no, don't be daft, but it's cleverly, isn't it? He probably was targeted, and that's probably why the guy left it on him after chasing a no-hope ball. But I will say, we would have drawn or lost that game last season.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I do want to get the only Leeds bros, sorry, to forgive me. Your contrast between, just before we move on, the contrast between last season and this season. Do you believe that we're more rounded for the championship this season?
Yeah.
Rather than relying on Somerville and Rutter. We'll start. Dillo, we'll go you first. But
yeah, literally what you said, Danny. That's the way I was thinking it as well. It seems to be you were so concentrated last season on Rutter and Somerville. They were the star men. Obviously, Archie Gray, young talent, phenomenal player, and he done unbelievable last year for us. But it was kind of like if Rutter did get injured or Somerville, everyone was kind of looking over their shoulders if to say, "Oh, like who's going to go into that position? Who's going to fall? You know, who's going to step up here?" And look, we did very well last season. You know, as me and Darren were saying, 90-point trophy. We done good in the sense, but it seems to be this season, you know, going with Tanaka and Rottweiler. I had to think there, sorry, because I couldn't. Rottweiler. And then obviously like Ramazani, which I have to say, lads, he's way better than Somerville. he's not shown it yet, but I think he's way better than Somerville, if I'm being completely honest. Joseph has that fire in him as well, and then I don't know if there's any Bamford lovers in here. That he's kind of been pushed out now, and Pirro and Joseph are going to step up. But it seems more of a united team, like an actual team, as opposed to just concentrating on two players to lead the lineup. You know?
Do you know when you just made that Ramazani shout there? There's genuine reactions like this, mate. Like he said, "What?" You're gonna get him, mate. I got called out. We had Gary on, who used to do the Talking Shut podcast a couple of weeks ago, and the comment was only went on for Gaz, and then the rest of them are self-entitled bellends and stuff like that. I went, oh, so he did watch us. You know what I mean? It's, quite good. Yeah, let's talk about that miss from Joseph Jay. Is it because he's growing his hair out, or what? Why can't he just go back to the braids?
You know, as a hair expert, I don't think that's affected him, but I think it's just one of them things, isn't it? A bit of like extreme target fixation, just going for it, and the keeper's in the corner of his eye, and he's just gone straight at it, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
it's one of them.
As a
like Joe Pirro, he always seems to get target fixation.
Yeah, do you know? I think Perry, I'll call him. I think Pirro. I think he was more stunned than usual on Tuesday because it just seems it's like he's made a 90-degree angle sometimes when the ball just comes into him. He tries to stop it and it just pings off him. I don't know what, because he had this good run, didn't he? Is it like 4 goals in 5 games or whatever it was? But Evie, is Pirro or Pirro? Is he back out of form now?
I don't know. I think it's what's the phrase? Different horses for different courses type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's different teams, and I think maybe
nobody went to college.
I think
fancy
maybe
words.
Joseph would have been better in that game in terms of he can ride challenges better than Pirro can. Pirro seems to get dispossessed very quickly and often in dangerous areas because he does run so deep to collect the ball. If he then loses it, he loses it in fairly dangerous areas. And because Watford was such a big and physical team and we're quite small, it meant that he would give the ball away and we were immediately had to be on the defensive. But I think Joseph, I personally would start him at Bristol and then let him tire everybody out. You know, it's going to be one of Bristol's biggest games of the season. So for me, I like the competition between Pirro and Joseph. I like the fact that Farke's changing it up and not just kind of flogging a dead horse kind of thing like he did with the whole Pirro Rutter situation last year. I think that's good. I think the competition is needed between the striking position because Bamford has had that role even when he's been injured. We've never actually bought somebody suitable to actually replace him. So I think now that we've got other options, it's either going to make or break Bamford as well in terms of his Leeds United career. I do still think, and this isn't me being a Bamford lover, I still think he can do something at this level for us. I think that this is his last season, no matter where we are next season. I do think this is his last one at the club. Mm-hmm. But, for me, I like the competition between Pirro and Joseph. And I think that there's different games that suit the game, for each person. But I think now without Ramazani and having Solomon on, I think that having Joseph on makes a better option than Pirro.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Bamford, I remember, I always look back to when we had Kamar Roof, and Kamar Roof looked over his shoulder, and we just bought Bamford from Middlesbrough. And I'll always remember that Bamford couldn't get in because Roof stepped his game up, and that's what you need in every position in this team. I just want to I want to address this. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. But your fringe, you look like Paul from Tekken 2. Just straight up. I used to, yeah. Yeah. So last thing we'll touch on the Watford game, because we have gone over a little bit. But Ao Tanaka, Dazzling Darren, Dazzo. I mean, I love him. I genuinely would get a title with him if I had the money, but I don't. So like, I love his little shimmy. You know, where he's done it a few times now, where he's dummied and he's just turned inside out. Yeah. He turned someone inside out like a pair of old underpants the other day, and I absolutely loved it. What's your thoughts on him, mate? I want to get everyone's opinions on Tanaka.
I think like we're running out of words to describe him. He's absolutely quality to watch. He's just an air of calm as well, especially in a game like that against Watford where it was very, very nervy. It seemed like everyone else around him was uptight. He was just pure calm. Every time the ball came near him, he didn't panic. They were pressing really well. There was times where there was 2 or 3 around him. It was just one touch, like you said, a drop of the shoulder, and he was gone. And he's fizzing the ball out wide. Like he's an eye for a pass as well. He's an all rounder. And Marty's starting to think like, let's not be talking too loud, because he could easily be picked up, because I think you just think he's too good for championship level. From what we've seen of him already, he's outstanding. I think he can play anywhere across the middle of the park as well. Like you think he can play the 68, and me and Matty from Imagine Up in Leeds also talked about that he could even do it in the 10 role, just because how silky he is, how agile he is, and the way he moves the ball. I don't think he'll ever get to that playing it in the 10, but yeah, he's a fan favourite already. He's quality.
Yeah, he's for $3 million. It's an absolute steal, isn't it, Evie?
Yeah, such an upgrade on Kamara as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's effortless, if I'm being honest. You know, he just does. He's so instinctive, and he doesn't look like that big of a player either. But he doesn't get bullied off the ball. He's very calm. He doesn't panic. He clearly sees the game. He's like some sort of like, Bradley Cooper in Limitless, where you can kind of use all of your brain and stuff like that.
That's how I see my life going when I get ADHD medication in the future.
You notice he said in the future, so not right now.
I'm on the waiting list now for a referral. It's happening. I'm going to be a genius. I'm just putting it out there now, so you all get early warning.
I've got ADHD, which is attention Danny disorder. So there you go. Just those that didn't know my reference from the poll about Smarty. This is what he looks like. And if you can see the fringe, that's
if he looks like that, that's worse. That's worse than having a few strepsils.
I just needed to get that.
Our Excel Smarty is now known.
Go on, Evie. Oh, we finished. Sorry.
Just that really. He seemed to be able to be everywhere. You'd blink and he was in a different place on the pitch, and you didn't see him move either. He would just be there and then be somewhere completely different. And he must be awful, between him in a defensive point and Aronson in an attacking point. They must be nightmares to play against, because of the fact that you have to have kind of like an owl's neck and be able to look everywhere at the same time to keep an eye on where they are. And who would have thought that, obviously, having lost Gruev and Ampadu within the same week, we have back-to-back man of the match performances from our 4th choice midfield. So
yeah,
that's
the Rottweiler and the Samurai. And bear in mind, what's more impressive is that I forgot his name. Tanaka, that's the one. We've been talking about him. That's all. He flew all the way to the other side of the world and back, and then had a days in between, and then played. And it's absolutely mental, isn't it, Jay? Yeah.
What a guy!
What a guy! I would definitely
buy
him a Fanta lemon.
I'll never be happy about those guys getting injured, but imagine we'd not been treated to this Tanaka that we're seeing now,
Mate, the fact is that he wanted him last season as well, apparently, according to reports. But he got injured, didn't he? I think he did his knee. But honestly, I think he's one of the, if not the best, it's a shout, midfielder in the Championship for me, personally. Go on then, give us your thoughts then, Jay, on Tanaka.
I think he's great. I think he's ace. Just he's not done anything other than impress me so far.
That's good.
Exactly. I've already resigned myself to the fact that if we don't go up, he's the first guy that we lose. And so
But he can't go. He can't leave if you can't find him.
Well, that's true. But what are you going to do with him? Where are you going to keep him? He'll make a noise after a while.
I'd change his name to Patrick Bamford.
Let him hide in plain sight.
Yeah. Just tell him to miss on purpose a few times.
No, I think he's great. I think he's a hell of a signing for that kind of money as well. When you put his ability alongside the price that we paid, it just makes him a top tier signing, as good as you're going to get in the Championship for me.
Yeah, and I hope he just stays under the radar enough for us to, no big teams come in January, because we might get his resolve tested in come January. But that's for another podcast. Dillo, just to finish with me, mate.
Time to go balls.
Yeah, literally what you said, Danny. I was about to say that as well. I didn't really want to talk about him. I want to keep him under the radar as much as possible. No, he's so calm on the ball. Like I'd say if you brought him out for a point, like if a fight broke out, he'd be just so calm. That's just the way he is. Like, but he's so the tackles that he just be putting in. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but me, I was putting my hands on my head. Like I thought he was going to give away a penalty at one stage. He's just winning the ball. He's timing them so perfectly. Darren said he's agile. He's just a smashing player, And to be honest with you, when Ampadu gets back, I think it's going to be tough who you're going to throw in there, if I'm being honest. Now, obviously, Ampadu probably will. They'll probably play, but it's going to be more defensively as opposed to even taking Rottweiler or putting Gruewe in. You're going to need that kind of pushing up the field, But then at the same time, we don't know what Tanaka could be like if he could go up a bit further up the pitch. So, it could be the best midfield duo in the world. I'm not even going to say the championship,
In the world, yeah. Why not? Fuck it. Take your chest. Go on.
So look, I love him. He's a steal, but I think I'll leave it at that because Brighton will end up putting a bid in for him.
It's funny you mentioned Brighton. I spoke to a guy who did he covered Japanese football when we signed Tanaka.
I remember that, yeah.
And he said, for me, ability-wise, is as good as Mitoma. Different kind of player, but ability-wise, as good.
So, I'm seeing that. Mitoma, he had that purple patch Mitoma for, weeks and weeks where he was just netting and bagging, and it was just amazing. And I think that there's some Japanese players out there, because I'm a Japanese expert, that really do go under the radar, you know what I mean? Or especially
sushi every week don't count, doesn't it?
Well, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation 5, so I'm in my you know what I mean? My
in the Japanese era.
Yeah, and I'll try and do a flip and end up breaking my neck somehow. You know what I mean?
Do it in big again, please.
Parker did refer to him as Tiger Tanaka, so Netflix have naturally put a Netflix documentary out about him. He is actually the king of Leeds.
He's not going to turn up for the next game like that guy on Phoenix Nights, is he? It's that Tiger from Potters.
I can't wait for season 2 now. Can't wait.
Season 3, mate. Season 3 is Tiger. So before we get on to guess the player, which is rather late, but we have signed a player called Joshua.
It's not Joshua, though, is it?
I generally can't say his name. I'll say it wrong. Gilavogi, and open a portal to the Shadow Realm. So, is it good? Jay, I'll start with you, mate, and I'll go around. Is it a sensible signing?
I think it's as good as you could possibly get, to be honest, out of a free agent at this stage. He's a little older than you'd ideally want, but that's why he's a free agent. That's why players like that are available. He's played all his career at top level. He's got international caps. He's been a consistently good performer. I don't see that there's a massive risk to this personally. I think it's just what we needed.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a sensible. He did play 11 times last season for Mainz. What about you, Dilo? Sensible signing for you?
Yeah, definitely. Look, we're light in that middle of the park, just all over. To get another player in, especially on the free, it's it's good. It's good. It gives you that for the fans, for the staff itself, that peace of mind that there's player to come in there and do the job. But, and look, the age, but he's like a fine wine. Like he'd get better with age. So he he's definitely going to do a job there for us. You could see it in him as well in his interview. Even when he said the word Leeds, it meant something to him. And I'm just saying that by watching it. Shed a little tear as well. Had a strepsil, but like it was, he's going to do it. Extra strength. He's going to be. I think he's going to be a smashing player, and it's definitely going to give us as fans and, as I said, the background staff a bit of peace of mind that there's something to cover in case anyone gets injured.
Exactly.
He could really help the existing players too, couldn't he? With his pedigree, really show them the way.
Yeah, and can cover centre back as well. 6'2" or 6'4", I believe. Evie, we've all seen the video what he did. 2 questions for you. How much helium did he take in before he did that interview? And can you say his name 3 times really fast?
No, I can't say his name fast. I can't say his name. I can say, is it Joshua? Joshua. I'm gonna first name him. But I think his interview was probably one of the most adorable things I've ever seen a 34-year-old man do ever. He seemed so humble, and I like that, and that's a big thing for Farke in terms of he loves a good personality, good character, good morals, good kind of sportsmanship and things like that. And the fact obviously he's been a captain at every club he's been at before, I think we do miss that natural leader on the pitch. So if you've got somebody on the bench as well, then kind of helping, jeering on, shouting instructions, whatever is needed kind of thing. I just think that warm bodies, when those warm bodies are useful, are very underrated, and we needed warm bodies at the end of last season and we didn't have them. So I think that not only is the league weaker, and in terms of technically we might not have as good players, but I think our overall team and what we can, and the fact that he uses the bench and the bench has been effective. We've got goals from the bench, we've got assists from the bench, we've got solidity on the bench. I think all of that is brilliant, and the fact that he's come in, spoken so highly about Olivier Decor and Bielsa. Obviously, he's been at an age where he will have probably seen Leeds have success as well, which not a lot of players that we've got in obviously can remember that. Leeds have been a championship club for the majority of our players' lifetimes. So it's nice to have somebody that can actually say, oh no, like Leeds are a massive club. Like you don't understand yet that, how far being in Leeds. I mean, I know obviously completely different topic, but look at the spotlight that was put on Rafinha by playing for Leeds United in the Premier League, and look at him now captaining Barcelona, scoring a hat-trick against Bayern Munich. So
we made that
Leeds
guy.
is Bielsa. I mean,
He's still credits.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you get him, Danny.
I think the fact that we got him on a free is just kind of chef's kiss kind of deal as well.
It's more of a French kiss. Come on, Evie. He's got seven caps. Sorry, I'm so sorry, lads. She meant French kiss. But anyway, right then, Dazo. One quick sentence on Joshua.
Yeah, he had me. Look what Evie said. As soon as he mentioned the core and Bielsa, he had me straight away. I was like, yeah, I'm all in for this. It's just when the Leeds do the sensible thing, like we never do, and for us to keep doing the sensible thing, it's kind of just surprising us. So I kind of had a feeling. I said to Dylan, I was like, there's all this talk about it, and we know we need it. I was like, I just wouldn't be surprised if Leeds just don't do it, and we end up getting an injury and having to go with a Charlie Crew in midfield and kind of being screwed till January. So yeah, look, we needed a big time, and please God, Rotwell and Tanaka are fine. They don't get injured, and we don't need them. but he will be a big presence in the dressing room as well. As one thing coming into the season, I was a little bit fearful of losing the likes of Cooper, Dallas gone. Dallas, obviously, we haven't seen him for a while, but he was always kind of in and around the dressing room. There was a lot of experience going out the door. Aylan gone as well to last season, and it's still like it's a very, very young squad. So to get someone like that, where he's played, what he's done in his career, it's just to come in and calm things down. It was the sensible thing to do. So fair play to the 49ers for doing it.
He sounds like he's very grateful for the opportunity as well. He's never played in England.
Yeah, he's buzzing to be
Yeah.
And he can swear
Right
at
then.
French when he screws up.
Yeah. Oh, le baguette. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. All right. Sorry for any. You know what? No, I'm not sorry to any French people watching. Like the English when we see a French person. Right. Right then, let's get on to guess the player. So how this works, guys, I think you've seen the show before, is you got to guess the player. So I'll put up a picture of somebody, I'll tell you a fact about them, and you've got to guess who it is. Now, who do you think this person is? He's obviously German. He's from back in the day, as you can see in this photo. They nicknamed him the Composer. And I'll give you 5 seconds just to think about the era. Ignore the box on his head; it's there for a reason, and that is it. So I will in the comments. I want to see it in the comments as well. If you're watching it after the podcast, then pause it and have a guess and write it in the comments, or just cheat. Look forward to come back and just get the right answer. Right, I will start with you, Dilo, mate. Who do you think that player is?
I was dreading you were going to pick me first. I haven't a
Thoughts
clue.
become things.
I haven't a clue. I was going to say Pablo Hernandez at one stage, to be honest with you. No, actually, I have no idea. No idea at all.
Would it be that Peter Hernandez from Klaus in Germany? I don't know. the German equivalent to Pablo Hernandez.
It wasn't the German shirt threw me off. It was actually the box on the head, if I'm being honest with you.
All right, that throw you off there.
I
That's not the shape. It is just a box. It's not the shape of the person's head underneath it.
Minecraft head. No, I actually haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. I really want to take that one away, so I haven't a clue.
Throw a name out. Throw a name out, mate. Any
False
name.
goals.
False goals. He picked a scum player, everyone. Right, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It's perfectly fine because we all know that German Paul Scholes. Evie, come on.
It's David Hasselhoff.
Ooh. Good guess. What about you, Daz?
Beckenbauer. I would have a clue.
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
An old favourite of mine. I'm going to say it in a way to try and not get you cancelled. Stefan Kuntz.
Oh, nice. Zane here with the Felix Wiedwald, who's got absolute hologram wrists. We've got closer and not a close box. That's nice. Very good wordplay. That's my dad. Hello, Dad.
Oh, that's who I went for.
Hello, Vater. We got Gerd Beethoven. Ooh. Thomas Tuchel, the New England manager. Noel Edmonds. Some great guesses, but you're all wrong. And I think Sterling was the closest. It is actually Johann Bach, the German composer. As you can tell, he's a German legend.
How many caps did he get?
He had a few on his handstand, yeah. He was an avid hat wearer. So that is this week's Guess the Player. And yet again, you'd be surprised, Evie, that nobody won. I did make it easier at the start, but everyone kept getting it right, and I didn't like that. So here we are again. Right, so let's move on to a quick preview about tomorrow then, everyone. Evie, I'll start with you. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Do we play obviously Ramazan is not going to be there, and we seem to be Bristol's bogey team because this is the head-to-head with won 15 times, drawn 2, and they've beat us once, which the team must have been poorly that day or something.
Oh, I don't like that stat because we were basically the same against Burnley, and then they beat us at Ellen Road, and they hadn't beaten us in years.
I think you
so
said
I
it on
don't like
your.
stats.
You
I
said
don't
it on
like
yours.
stats like that.
Yeah.
It freaks me out because it's just kind of a very Leeds thing to kind of like all of
What?
the stats are looking in our favour.
Well, this.
And then
Does that freak you out?
It does freak me out.
This, yeah. Oh,
This is
sorry.
like that bit on This Morning when they had that woman on that was scared of
Sorry.
Simon Cowell and started putting his picture on screen. She started shaking.
Well, it's not Simon Cowell. It's just some sort of wax dummy that says it's Simon Cowell.
One
Go on,
thing
Evie, sorry.
one thing that does make me feel positive is so far every enforced change that we've had this season has somehow improved us. So I'm going to go with that we are somehow, without Firpo and without Ramazani and with a fourth choice midfield, we are somehow going to be the best version of ourselves. And I think they've got like six players out as well. So like really, we should have enough to just go and get. It might be another Watford watch in terms of.
Evie, say it. Say we're going to smash them. You're
No.
skirting round it. I know what you want to say. Just say it.
I don't make predictions.
Oh, Leeds fans there. Hearty banter. Daz, let's come on then, mate. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Same team, score?
I think, it's going to be a tough one. Obviously, a totally new left-hand side tomorrow. Probably Ramazani and Boyram, I'd imagine. I think
No
hard fought
Ramazani.
1-0. I'd take 1-0. Again, if the performance is not great, just go there, pick up the 3 points. 1-0.
I say I want out of this championship. I don't care if we win
care how we do
1-0. If it comes off, a bollock, a bum, a nose, an ear. Sorry, Evie. Potty mouth. I do apologise. I don't care. I just want the 3 points to go up. Yeah. Jay, what do you think, mate?
The left-hand side is going to be interesting, but if it's Byram and Solomon down there, there's not going to be a great deal of pace in it, which could disrupt us a little bit. But we're just going to have to see how it goes. I think overall we should be more than enough for Bristol City.
Sorry. Here's the thing. I don't know why I'm pointing this at you.
You're doing all official now.
I know. Yeah. Sorry. I've got my notes. See. Behind the scenes.
It says on there though is like must buy milk. Need some plasters. Strepsils.
I've been trying to pronounce and spell that Joshua's name. I still don't know. You'll see it in the uncut version of the podcast later. Sorry. Do you think Schmidt? Any chance of Schmidt coming in?
I'd like to say yes, but on current evidence, I'd say probably not, because when he brings a sub on, it's Byram. I know Smith's not been fully fixed. He did get a knock a couple of weeks back, didn't he? But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. That he's like the mystery man. He's building up some anticipation. It's just there's going to be a game one day. We're going to hear the glass break and Stone Cold's music playing, and Smith's going to step out the dugout. And it's going to be time. He's going to come on and boss it, but not this time.
I'm excited to see Schmidt. If I'm being honest, when he came on, I was like, oh, "It's Schmidt time! It's Schmidt! I'm Schmitten." Do you like to see it? Yeah. Put them away. Right, yo. Dillo, mate. What's your prediction?
3-0 Leeds. Just going to throw that out there. I think Leeds. We definitely deserve smashing the team. I think Bristol's going to be the one to do it. Joseph to score, Nanto to score, and Rottweiler to score. Or Tanaka. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'll have to come back to that.
Just go 4. Just go 4-0.
Yeah, we'll go 4-0. I'd say 3-0. Like,
nice one.
Yeah,
nice.
3-0.
I'll take that.
I think
Evie.
Did I?
I'll come back, Ryan. We're not moving on. It's staying live until Evie gives me a score prediction. I'm not moving.
I think it'll be 2-1 to Leeds.
I was going to say.
That makes me so uncomfortable saying that right now.
This is why we have you on. Right, go on then, Daz. Give us a score.
I did 1-0.
Sorry, mate. You speak so fast. It's like you've been belt. It's like your words have been belt fed from a machine gun. I do apologise. Jay, give us your
I think
prediction.
I said 3-0 on our pod, so I'm going to stick with that. I think I said that. Otherwise, I've given two completely different scores for the same game.
You're allowed to change
With my
them.
memory, until I get them that limitless medication, who knows?
Yeah, hit me up when you get that, Jay, will you, please?
Yeah, I've got some funny looking stuff in the back of the fridge. I think it used to be cheese. If you want to, take some of that back.
Hey,
Right.
mate, I'll try out at this point.
Right, let us finish up with something we've called Top Knob. So basically, think about anyone that has pissed you off this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Top Knob.
Best jingle in the game. Right then, who has pissed you off this week, Jay? Or as they used to say in ancient Rome, Topus Nobus.
Oh God, no one's really. Smarty said I did say 4-0, so I'll give two different scores anyway. No one's really upset me massively, so I'm just going to say Tom Cleverley for being a bit of a wanker and getting one of his lads to take out Ramzani.
That's fair. That's fair. Dillo.
I was going to say the same. I swear to God, I actually was.
Are you two texting?
Yeah,
something
I was just on the side. Yeah, no, I actually was. I
Yeah,
swear to
that's
God,
it.
I was thinking the same myself.
I'll
I'll change it though if that's not it. I'll
That's
say.
a two, mate.
Yeah, no, I'll leave it.
Yeah.
I was going to say me
See
missus,
how
but
big-
she's probably watching.
That's dangerous.
Your dinner will be in bin, mate.
Just you and Pirro tonight, so.
Yeah, I know.
Go on then, Evie. Who's wound you up?
The idea that Leeds can't have nice things. So obviously we've just had James and Solomon coming back, and now we've lost Ramazani. So we just can't have nice things anymore. We just always have to. It's like, give with one hand, taketh with the other, and yeah, that makes me sad. So
It's actually making me
Leeds-
sad.
I know Leeds' luck is
So-
my top knob.
Should we call it Leeds luck then, rather than bad luck? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
call it
Leeds luck.
Right, so you're nominating Leeds
Yeah.
Leeds luck. The bad Leeds luck. Daz, what about you, mate? Who's pissed you off? Or, as they say in Australia, who's fucking pissed you off, mate?
I'm going to say Ba, that scored against us, because he was all over us. He was the danger man for Watford. So, yeah, I'm going to say Ba. Really pissed me off. Just so I thought he was going to get Ba. It just doesn't look right in the back of his jersey, and also, yeah, I'm going to say Ba.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna nominate them all as well because, frankly, I can't think of anything, so I've made myself look bad. But I'll agree with you, so I'll be humble. So every one of them, you are this week's Topus Nobbers.
Top Knob.
Or if he's not careful, Zane, you will be this week's top knob, and I will banish you to the shadow realm. Play nice. There,
Don't want to go there.
right. Thank you very much to everyone for joining me this week. I'm sure the boys will be back next week. All right, only Leeds Bros, where can we find you? What's happening over the weekend? Anything?
Yeah, we actually have loads of bits. We're on after this on our own channel doing a bit of a Bristol match build-up. We've got Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds and Sean from Wilco Whites. He's a newly set up channel as well, so we're going to do our own bit across there. Tomorrow
Nice.
then we'll have an instant match reaction, and then we've got a bit of collab then with Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds. It's a show called The Final Point, where we literally just sit down and have a point and chat absolute shit about Leeds, and yeah, it seems to have kind of gone down well anyway. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Sunday. So yeah, kind of seems to be something every single day. But yeah, loving the YouTube game. We kind of just started it off as the missus were sick of listening to me and Dylan. Every time we went out, we were just talking about Leeds, and one of them just turned around and said, "You two should just have your own channel." And we kind of just looked at each other. We just said, "Come on, let's try it." So yeah, we're loving it. Didn't think we'd get this far. We'd be doing anything like this, but yeah, buzzing, loving it.
You've got to just keep going. lads, and probably try and stay off this podcast as much as you can because we're bad influences apparently.
Really appreciate it, Danny. Really appreciate
No. I was going to ask you anyway. We'll talk after. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on and giving your
Thanks
value
for having
input.
us, yeah.
If you don't already follow or subscribe to these guys, please go over to their channel and do that. We need to support everyone and all the other content creators. Speaking of content creators, our newly Discord of Peacocks, Miss Evie, the Queen of Peacocks herself. What's happening over at your channel? It's doing really well, I've heard.
Yeah, it's not doing too bad, really.
Look at you, all humble. No.
Well,
No,
I'm
come
gonna
on,
come on and be like, yeah, I've done effing amazing in like a few weeks. It's been incredible, you know.
See, the real Evie's coming out, everyone. It's all
Yeah.
Come on, Joe. No, but congratulations and well done. It's been a huge success. So tell us what you're doing this week or you for your next video.
I'll obviously do a review on probably Monday because I'm not actually going to get to watch the game live tomorrow. I'm out. I thought it was a 3:00 kickoff and I arranged my day poorly. I thought I'd arranged it really well because I'll get back in time for the kickoff that is no longer the actual kickoff because it's a 12:30 one. So yeah, I've kind of scuppered myself a bit by just being a bit disorganized. But yeah, I'll watch that and review that. And then I've got a few other bits coming out. I've recorded a few other ones. November is diabetes month and I've got type 1 diabetes. So I've got a few mental health diabetes related videos that I've got coming out, obviously completely different to Leeds ones, but yeah, I've got those coming out in November as well.
Yep, so same again, if you don't already follow Evie, please do go over there and follow her channel and support her over there. Quick question, Evie. Did you find the pigeons?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I found
Joe Blackburn, sir, I salute you. I doff my cap to thee. Great, absolutely great banter from Joe B there. Jay, you did, was it B&C yesterday? Or was it the main pod yesterday?
It was the main pod yesterday, B&C the night before. I hate having to do two in a row, mate, because I feel like it don't give one time to breathe. But hey, it's a majority thing. These lads, they do what they want. But yeah, we're back after the Bristol game. We'll be back on Sunday, I think, probably with a B&C. I think it's Gilly and Carl, having looked at our little rota that Gilly lovingly made for us because he does like spreadsheets and things like that. And yeah, I think those guys are back, and then we'll be back Tuesday as usual for the main pod.
Yep. So please do again go over to there and support them and sub to them if you already don't. But more importantly, like and subscribe to us because why not? Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. There's been 600 of you in the watching, which you would say if there were actually 600 people watching. There wasn't. I joined your tours there, didn't I? No, but thanks very much. Thanks everyone for coming on this week, and we might be back Sunday with this Sunday Club with me and James. It depends if we can get that going. If not, we'll do something on this channel to support that. But we'll be back with our Halloween special in November next week because that's how it goes. So stay tuned, and we will see you next week.